With the release of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus, I think it's time that we jump into the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comic book run. So this comic book run actually serves as a prequel to the Disney Plus series. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into issue 1. Let's go. We open with Spider-Man in a dire predicament. An unknown assailant hoists a battered Spider-Man above his head, poised to hurl him from a towering building. As Spider-Man plummets, he reflects on whether adopting the mantle of the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was a mistake. Weeks earlier, chaos erupts at Midtown High when a mysterious incident leaves the building in ruins. As students evacuate, we witness Peter Parker meeting Nico Minoru for the first time after he bravely assisted her as the school was being damaged. Their introductions are abruptly interrupted when Peter collapses after being bitten by a spider. Aunt May rushes to his side as paramedics advise a thorough checkup, but Peter declines, citing medical costs. Suddenly, a gas explosion rocks the school, but fortunately the building is already evacuated due to the prior incident. Peter and Nico part ways, pondering where their education will continue. Later, at Delmar's Deli Grocery, Peter's heightened senses alert him to a falling stack of heavy boxes. He swiftly dodges, saving himself and a nearby cat, prompting a staff member to comment on his agility. Back home, Peter and Aunt May relax in front of the TV when they're interrupted by a knock at the door. Susan O'Hara, Nico Minoru's foster mother, arrives to thank Peter, bringing a homemade dish as a gesture of appreciation. Nico cringes at the sentiment, but Aunt May insists they join for a meal. Afterward, Susan and May bond over conversation while Nico urges Peter to leave before they're enlisted to help clean. Peter shares some personal items with Nico, including a cherished microscope passed on to him from his Uncle Ben. He mentions his desire to upgrade but laments the expense. Nico, distracted, remarks on the recent events happening at the school, noting how they disrupt her efforts to redefine herself after moving from LA. Peter empathizes, sharing that he was previously known as the guy you either copy homework from or pick on, and more recently as one of those kids whose uncle just passed away. With the school out of commission, he sees the move to nearby schools as an opportunity for a fresh start. Nico is less optimistic, expressing concerns that they'll be transferred to the worst schools in the area, leading to overcrowded classrooms and diminished college prospects. She reveals that real estate conglomerates have long sought the school's land and fears the city will sell it off without rebuilding. They decide to investigate the extent of the damage themselves. At midnight, Peter and Nico sneak into the damaged school. Inside, they find the science lab utterly destroyed, but Peter deduces that the explosions were deliberate, noting tampered gas feeds and the use of matches instead of metal strikers. Nico shares her findings that mob boss Silvio Manfredi has ties to the real estate interests eyeing the school property. Suddenly, voices approach. A group of mobsters enter, prompting Peter and Nico to plan their escape. Peter accidentally drops a flashlight, revealing their presence. They split up, with Nico calling the police anonymously while Peter continues to flee. Confronted by a locked door, Peter astonishingly breaks the chains with his bare hands, shocking the pursuing mobsters. Cornered at a destroyed staircase, Peter instinctively defends himself, displaying remarkable strength and agility. A gun is drawn on him just as police sirens start to wail outside. As the trigger is pulled, Peter inadvertently tears a chunk from the wall, deflecting the bullets. He escapes, leaving the mobsters bewildered by his abilities. Once safe outside, Peter is exhilarated by his newfound powers. He tests his strength, agility, and wall climbing, marveling at his transformation. Realizing that the spider bite granted him these abilities, he compares himself to Captain America. Back home, Peter calls Nico to ensure she's safe. He suggests involving the police, but Nico warns against it, fearing they could become targets for the mob bosses and noting potential corruption within the force. Peter agrees, considering the safety of his loved ones. Gazing at a poster of Captain America, he resolves to seek justice as Spider-Man. Meanwhile, a mobster reports to Silvio Manfredi about the incident at the school, describing the extraordinary abilities of the kid who confronted them. Silvio laments that heroes like Captain America used to stay in their own domains, wars, espionage, outer space, but now things are changing. Citing Hell's Kitchen as an example, he decides to eliminate any emerging threats, opting to summon the Enforcers. And if you like this kind of content, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But for the meantime, peace, peace, peace!